Morning, state of Tennessee. Sister Leslie reached out to me just a while back and talked to me about teaching Sunday school this Sunday. And have you ever thought that you were on the better side of something? Because when she texted me, I kind of had a smirk on my face as I started to text her back. And I was like, I'll be at convention, so I won't be able to teach Sunday school. And I had a little attitude when I was typing that back. And as I was texting out my response back to her, you know how your eyes will kind of go up and look towards the text that was just sent. And it said, teach Sunday school at convention. Have you ever had that joyful feeling just escape out of your body? It's gone. We're going to jump into this lesson. I've got 7 minutes to cover this lesson. If you've got your book, grab it. If you don't worry about looking because you ain't got time to get it. Grab the pew in front of you and hang on because here we go. Laboring together in sowing and reaping. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and night and day shall not cease. Nevertheless, he left not himself without witness in that he did good and gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. For the earth which drinketh in the rain that cometh oft upon it, and bringeth forth herbs meet for them by whom it is dressed, receiveth blessing from God. This scripture is, of course, talking about the natural sowing and reaping that we know that God blessed us with. We can plant things, they grow, we harvest them, we eat, we're filled, and we're made whole in the physical. Now, a critical fact about this laboring together of sowing and reaping is that the harvest is never claimed if both parts aren't done. If you don't sow, the reaper has nothing to reap. If you reap and don't sow, or did I say that backward? You know what I mean. If you don't reap, you don't sow. If you don't sow, you can't reap. It's one of the two. But either way, that harvest is missed. Flipping over to the next set of scripture. We're on the last page of the lesson, folks. Here we go. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. Now listen to what's being said here. This is the spiritual sowing and reaping that we're talking about. So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry, ye are God's building. Verse 9, it talks about that husbandry. Husbandry is a noun that means to care and cultivate a crop or field. It is that nurturing and cultivating of a field. That is the meaning of husbandry. The scripture then is telling us, for you and me are God's husbandry. We are God's care and cultivating of the harvest. And what's our spiritual harvest? Souls, people, reaching out. You and I are responsible to do that by care and cultivating. In that husbandry, we have different roles. However, just as in the sowing and reaping that I blundered a second ago, if we sow and have no one to reap it, it doesn't get harvested. If we don't sow it, there's nothing to reap, it doesn't get harvested. Sister Mary, if you fail to do your part, the souls may not be harvested, even though I'm doing my part. If I fail to do my part, and you do your part faithfully, it still is going to suffer in the overall harvest and the abundance of what is made available to us. Keeping in mind, if the husbandry responsibilities are not met, the harvest, which is spiritually speaking the souls, does not get harvested. My wife and I have a joint bank account, and we are equal members on that account. One of us may swipe that card more than the other. I'll let you talk to us later about that. We both put deposits in that account. We both can go in and make changes to that account. We both could squander that account. But even if we don't both squander it, if one of us messes up on that account, the account suffers. Correct? At the end of the day, neither of us are more important than the other regarding the account. Look at this scripture when it says, I have planted, Apollos watered. The next scripture says, let's see. So then neither is he that planteth anything. We're nothing. Neither he that watereth is anything, because God gives the increase. But what we are responsible to do, is to act upon that. So in that joint account, and because of this equal and joint effort on our joint bank account, we together are responsible to maintain the account. We both need to care and cultivate that bank relationship. Either of us can do harm to that bank account regardless of the other person's care. Just like I said, I could go in and create havoc for both of us if I do something suspicious, fraudulent. That bank account is subject to be closed, even though my wife may be doing everything right and everything she knows to do to cultivate that. But because of my actions, that bank account is going to suffer. I don't want my actions in the harvest to cause the harvest to suffer. I know there are a lot of people working hard and diligent toward the harvest, but I don't want me being the shortcoming of the harvest not being fulfilled and not being fully taken. Verse 9, if we jump back to that right quick, it says, for we are laborers together. We're working together. Joint laborers, if you would. We're joint laborers together with God, meaning exactly that, joint laborers, not joint watchers. We're joint laborers. We're not joint questioners. We're joint laborers, not joint complainers. Just as Sister Fox and I agree that together jointly we want to handle that bank account in a way that we get a desired result from that account, how much more care should we not put into the coming harvest of souls to work together, being faithful to do our part, not relying on someone else to do Brother Fox's part. It may be a small part, but you know what? It's an important part. If God gave it to me to do, it's important for me to do that. If our bank account does suffer, it is irrelevant who was responsible. The bank doesn't care. They'll shut it down either way. I don't want God to shut down the work because of me and to belabor the work of His coming. I don't want to be the delay in Him coming back. He's not coming back until the harvest is ready. If I don't work hard, the harvest may be delayed, and it may be me. I certainly don't want to be guilty in God's presence as the irresponsible party regarding the harvest. Let's work together and be laborers together. God bless you, and God bless our Sunday schools.